what is up? I thought I share this divine time with you to give you a piece of gnosis and knowledge that hopefully you attain somewhere in your life too. Now, alright, now, what is that? Well, see this awesome experience you have around you? You have light over here. You have angles of your mind that you produce, and you can do whatever you would like to do in this paradise realm. Now, most people are on the quest to self. Because if you know what diet is, diet comes from the word deity. Now, you realize that you are, by yourself, a temple, a deity, which is interacting with its surroundings. This is very basic. But whatever you bring into your temple, you will see in your realm, in your real mother, which is surrounding you in your aura or area, which is Ra, the single-eyed pirate. And now, I don't want to confuse you with these mystical, etymological things, but see, the point is that once you clean, once you're in a fasted state, once you have drinking from the Holy Grail, which is your urine, once you've taken in your own elements, you realize that you're a creator, and your reality is based upon what you ingest. Your reality is based upon your deity, which is your diet. Now, are your senses clean? Right? What are my senses? My senses are my holes, my portals into my skull, into my system. Now, it's not even only my eyes, my nose, my ears, my mouth. It's also my skin, which is called in yoga or Kalaripayattu, which is the oldest known martial art, when the body becomes all eyes. So, you can ingest your angles of your mind that you produce your own water, your urine, onto your senses, and then you realize, now, all this dirty filth material, the devil, which is the element of earth, basically, is leaving the body, and suddenly you rise up into the mist, into the spiritual realm, which is everywhere. So you don't certainly have to travel to a place to realize something. You don't have to go into a spiritual resort. If it helps you, that's great. But you actually do not have to even walk a specific path. You just can sit there and observe, because your body is already self-sustaining if you give it the right amount of pranayama, which is basically just light from the sun, and water that you produce by yourself. You have air around you that you can breathe. You're the fire maker, which is ingesting fire from the sun. Now you increase your own fire. And the ether, well, that's a different thing. But you produce that with your mind. Let's keep it that way. Now, what can you do to get your mind right? Because, see, if you know this solution, what can you do to just do it? And that's the thing, you can just do it, but your mind is not capable of doing it right now, and this is the problem. So what you can do is you can look at people who are doing it and how they are doing it and how are they doing. How do they live their life? And then you figure out, well, there is a certain kind of magic into these lives of these people. Well, it is certainly true that you can do these things and you can figure out stuff for yourself, and you will gain a certain amount of knowledge, of gnosis and knowledge of self. And once you've attained that, now you just send that out, you emit that. It doesn't matter where I go. I just emit it because I am it. I am authentic. Most people are not authentic. They can't be because they are fake. Why are they fake? Because they live in this fake environment, which is not natural. And this is what the basic problem actually is. These people, well, actually everything that we produce is coming from nature because we came out of nature, but it's so far away from the original thing, from the original source and atom, which is split into things because it wants to experience itself. Now, you ingest that certain thing, and you're miles and trillions of miles away from the original thing. So no wonder that you are fake, or you're just too far away from your own self. Now your body, like in Taoism or Daoism, your body is known as an own cosmology. And the inner center of the universe would be the inner spark, which is inside of every human being, inside of their skull, which is, we call it the pineal gland. You call it whatever you want. But, you know, the optical nerve is a channel which must be, or can be opened to experience more. And it's directly connected to this spark, to your pineal gland. Now you open that channel up via sun gazing, via putting into your eyes your own urine, your own solution. And you, of course, well, if it sits in the middle, you have holes in here, holes in here, holes in there, holes in here. Now you open it all up with your own solution, and then it's able to just open you up to the point that that everything that I do in a fasted state and everything that I do when I ingest the solution becomes psychedelic. Now life by itself is already psychedelic, even if I ingest the matter, the earth, but then it slows my vibration down, and I do not see and experience at that rate, which is magical, right? Now, back to the cosmology. So, I have this inner spark into my head, and this optical nerve from here down to here, it's just how much is that? An inch, you call it in America, which is a few centimeters. But that part is like millions and trillions of light years in a cosmos. So no wonder that you can't experience it, because it's so clogged up. Alright? And it takes, of course, time. You just don't stare at the sun for 5 minutes and then you become enlightened. Well, enlightenment means just you put light into your mind, but it takes some time, right? And then after some time you realize you emit time, and then you just no matter where you go, you send your time out. So you do not depend on any calendar, because you create your calendar out of your hand, your mandala, which is the original calendar. And I don't care in what time frame you live. I live in my time frame that I produce. So cheers on that, y'all. for those weirdos that think I'm naked over here, well, maybe I am. Not. Right? But I ingest light onto my body, and you should too. Right, and I'm actually at the point right now, well, YouTube and making these videos empowered me to talk about these phenomena that I talk about right now in the real in the real mother, in the reality, with people that are very close to my heart. And that opens me up, and that helps me, and that hopefully helps them. And so I have how is it called? I have something where I can just put my knowledge out, which is YouTube actually. And hopefully you gain something out of this that you're watching right now. Yeah. So it's basically very easy to attain gnosis and attain knowledge of self and don't attach to it. Well, if you consider facts like maybe you become an addict, and if you know actually what addiction is, it has something to do with the witch, with magic, with words and language that is only inside of your mind, and your mind is attached to something, so you're addicted to it because it adds to your mind. You see so many advertisements, so it adds something, it adds a piece of puzzle onto your mind, and now your mind is like, oh, I need that to be something, but because, well, this is the problem, you identify with it. But certainly I am not that. I'm not these substances that I ingest. I'm nothing of it. But I can be it. I can be all of it. But I certainly know that I do not depend on it. I can just ingest it, and then I move on, have a new experience. Because I boil myself down with my own distillery of my body, which is producing what? Urine. I'm like, let's just fucking do it. You know what? Cheers, y'all. You know that I'm doing that, so what the fuck? So you're weirdos, so just do that for yourself. I'm like, you don't have to be in fear of something. And actually, why am I doing that? I'm doing that to just help out myself, of course. Well, I am able to be more open with these things that are inside of my mind, and that are certainly true. But hopefully this thing that is produced here will help you at some point in your life. This is why I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. You can't just float through life, and you can't just do whatever you would like to do. And then you see it's a giant playground over here. A giant playground. You can do whatever you would like to do. We have social constructs, of course. We have families and friends and material things which are attaching us to this society. And this is certainly good because it gives us an experience. But see, the devil that everybody in church is afraid of is actually just matter, material. And it drags you down when you ingest it. And it distracts you from spirituality, its density and buoyancy. It's very easy. Now you ingest things that make you light, like, for example, sun gazing, the sun. You just ingest, I don't even have to look at it. I'm ingesting the sun when I'm just out in the sun. And everybody is. And you know, what the fuck? What? You excuse my language. It's certainly important how we express ourselves with these magical words that we use. Now, most people are not capable of sitting out in the sun, and they are sweating all the time, and they are stinking, and these people are like, oh, I'm just get a sunburn, and the sun is bad for me, sun is causing cancer. You know what? The sun just burns all that dirty filth and this earth material off, which is inside of you, which is causing your problems, which is causing stagnation and blockage into your tubes. So, certainly, the sun is not the problem. What is the problem? Actually, your mind, because it attaches to a certain pattern, and now you think you have to do that over and over again, and this is what eating is doing. Now most people eat 3 times a day, 4 times a day, they stuff their face with it, and this is causing their harm. They're doing a lot of harm. Now you go out into the sun, and the sun is like, oh, you know what, you ingest all of that shit, I burn that off for you. And then like the fire is burning the wood, which is here inside of you, the earth. Suddenly you get some kind of energy, but yeah, this is causing harm. And of course, eating is pleasure and joy, and you should not get to the point you're like, oh, I don't eat anymore. For certain times that's good to do a fast, but then like breaking routines and setting new routines, right? Creating and destroying. Yeah. So, and another fact, right? If you eat something, if you fast for maybe 23 hours, and you clean yourself with your own urine, your senses, now you realize that you eat something, and certainly it gets not digested in the first place into your stomach. No, you know where it's getting digested in the first place? In your sinus, the sinus wave, which is here, right? The sinus wave, and you have so much space inside of your skull, which is there for a reason, certainly for vibes and vibrations to feel that, but frequencies. So there are holes in it. When you clean that you can just do paida, you can just ingest urine, you can be out in the sun, and all this earth materials get burned off. And then you just, you experience more. Or you can just add psychedelics into your life. But that's probably not a good idea if you're full of shit, because it will show you that. So, yeah. You digest in the first place with your holes which are inside of your skull. And you ingest something, it sits here. It sits there. Everything gets blocked. And if you eat too much, like I told you, you stuff your face with your food. Literally. And then you block your senses, you're not able to feel it, to feel something. You're not intuitive, because you're not in tune with yourself. You're not empathic, you don't walk the path of Mother Nature, you don't fast. Well, see, this is the problem. You're not out in the sun, because, the sun is bad for me. Yeah. So, these are certain ideas of solutions, and hopefully you can use some of them for yourself, for other people, which are important to your heart, and ride on your roller coaster. Go up and down, left and right, go into different hemispheres, areas, realms, auras, stages, and go out in the sun, and for times fast and drink your piss.